There's a voice inside your head that won't stop talking. It's the one that whispers when the world is quiet, the one that questions your every move, the one that reminds you of everything you haven't done yet. You know that voice. It's not your enemy, but it's not your friend either. It's your mind. And if you don't learn how to master it, it will master you. See, your psyche, the very core of who you are, is both your greatest weapon and your greatest weakness. It can drive you to achieve the impossible, or it can chain you to your fears. It can make you unstoppable, or it can make you doubt yourself in the silence. The battle isn't out there. It's in here. The real war has always been internal. Every day, you wake up and step into that battlefield without even realizing it. You fight against laziness, fear, insecurity, overthinking, and the lies you've told yourself for years. And sometimes you lose. You wake up tired, unmotivated, distracted, and you let your thoughts control your moves. You tell yourself, maybe tomorrow. You scroll, you procrastinate, you wait for the perfect moment. But here's the truth. There's no perfect moment. There's only now. The moment you decide to take control of your mind, everything around you begins to shift. Because once your psyche obeys you, the world can't stop you. The strongest people aren't those with perfect lives. They're the ones who face the chaos inside their own minds and learned how to command it. They're the ones who learn to turn anxiety into energy, fear into focus, and doubt into discipline. That's the secret nobody tells you. Winning in life isn't about talent. It's about psychological control. It's about understanding the power of your thoughts, your emotions, your inner patterns. You can have all the potential in the world, but if your psyche is weak, your future will collapse under the weight of hesitation. But if your mind is forged in fire, if you train it, test it, and talk to it with power, then you become unstoppable. You become someone who no longer reacts, you lead. You decide, you act. So before you chase dreams, before you talk about success, before you even think about winning, understand this. Your mind is the foundation of everything. If you build it weak, your life will crumble when the pressure hits. But if you build it strong, unshakable, grounded, focused, then you can face anything. No storm, no failure, no rejection can take away what's built inside you. That's the psyche type of champions, the ones who move with clarity, speak with purpose, and grind with conviction. They've stopped fighting the world and started mastering themselves. And that's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not when it's easy, but right now. Because the truth is simple. If you can win the war within, you can conquer everything outside of you. When you say, all I know is grind, you make a promise to yourself that no matter how you feel, no matter what happens, you're going to show up. Because the truth is, the grind doesn't care about your emotion. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you had a rough day. It doesn't care if nobody believes in you. The grind doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It demands that you move when your body screams stop. It demands that you act when your mind is filled with doubt. That's what separates the winners from the ones who quit halfway. The winners understand that emotion is temporary, but discipline is forever. Feelings fade, motivation fades, but a man who shows up even when he doesn't feel like he will always rise above the rest. You gotta understand something deep. Success doesn't reward emotions, it rewards endurance. It rewards the one who still wakes up at 5 a.m. after a sleepless night. It rewards the one who still trains after failure. It rewards the one who still believes in themselves when everyone else has written them off. Because when you let emotion lead you, you'll live in cycles. One week you'll be on fire, full of motivation, telling yourself you're unstoppable. But the next week, when life hits, you'll be empty, cold, lost, and looking for reasons to quit. That's not grinding, that's surviving. The grind starts when your motivation ends. It's what you do after you don't feel like doing anything. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is the bridge between potential and achievement. It's the line that separates dreamers from doers. The disciplined man doesn't rely on how he feels. He relies on his commitment. He's programmed to execute no matter what. When he says, all I know is grind, he means that if it's raining, he's grinding. He's grinding. If it's stormy, he's grinding. If nobody supports him, he's still grinding. He doesn't care who's watching. He doesn't care if anyone claps. He's in it for the result, not the recognition. Because when you truly live that code, when you live for the grind, you realize that the work itself becomes the reward. You don't chase the outcome anymore. You chase improvement. You chase that feeling of becoming sharper, stronger, more dangerous every single day. There's a reason why so many people talk big but never deliver. They move when it's convenient. They grind only when it feels good. They think discipline is optional, but it's not. You can't build greatness on comfort. You can't stay consistent by chasing motivation. If you wait until you feel inspired to work, you'll never win because inspiration is rare. You've got to be able to move when your body aches, when your heart hurts, when your mind doubts. That's what makes a champion. That's what makes the one who wins. You see, when you depend on emotion, you're weak because emotion can change in seconds. One bad comment, one setback, one bad day, and you're done. But when you're disciplined, you're unshakable. You don't react, you respond. You don't let a bad day make you a bad worker. You don't let disappointment stop your consistency. Discipline is what keeps you moving through pain. Discipline is what makes you say, I don't care how I feel. I made a promise to myself, and I'm going to honor it. That's how real success is built. Not through inspiration, but through execution. And that's where most people fail. They keep waiting to feel ready. They keep saying, I'll start when I feel better. I'll work harder when I'm motivated. I'll go all in when the time feels right. The truth is, the time will never feel right. You'll never wake up one morning magically motivated. You'll never reach success by waiting for the perfect moment. You create that moment through consistent work. The grind doesn't wait. The grind rewards the ones who show up whether they feel like it or not. The grind is not emotional. It's mechanical. It's about repetition. It's about doing it again and again until it becomes part of who you are. When you live by discipline, something powerful happens. You stop chasing motivation, and motivation starts chasing you. The more consistent you are, the more you believe in yourself. The more you show up, the less you doubt. Because now your mind starts to recognize your strength. It starts to say, I can rely on this person. That's the transformation. You go from emotional to unbreakable, from fragile to focused, from hoping to knowing. And once you reach that level, there's no going back because you built yourself from the ground up. Think about it. Every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every person who ever achieved something monumental had days when they didn't feel like it. They were tired, frustrated, exhausted, but they showed up. They executed, they followed through. That's why they win. Not because they're special, but because they're disciplined. They didn't let feelings dictate their grind. They made a decision that no matter what, the work gets done. That's the power of discipline. It turns ordinary people into legends. The grind isn't glamorous. It's repetitive, painful, and often lonely. There will be days when you question yourself. There will be moments when you think, why am I even doing this? But that's exactly when you need to push harder, because those moments of resistance are where growth happens. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you're training your mind to become stronger. Every time you ignore the voice that says, rest, a quit, a stop, and instead choose to move forward, you're building a weapon, a mind that cannot be broken. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect mood. The grind doesn't care about your feelings. The world doesn't owe you anything. You want results? Then stop being emotional about your goals and start being disciplined about your actions. You don't need more motivation. You need more consistency. You don't need better conditions. You need better habits. You don't need people to believe in you. You need to believe in your own ability to execute when it hurts. Because discipline doesn't just create success. It creates freedom. The freedom to know that no matter what happens, you can rely on yourself to rise, to fight, and to win. All you need to remember is this. The grind is not personal, it's principle. It's not about who you are today, it's about who you're becoming through what you're willing to endure. If you only work when you're happy, you'll never grow. But if you learn to work through pain, through boredom, through exhaustion, you'll become unstoppable. So the next time you wake up tired, unmotivated, or uninspired, remind yourself, this is what the grind looks like. This is what champions are built from. You don't have to feel great to get started. You just have to start. Because once you move, once you act, once you commit, your emotions will follow your actions. All I know is grind. That's not just a quote. That's a lifestyle. It means your actions don't bow to your emotions. It means your work ethic doesn't depend on your mood. It means you're disciplined enough to keep going, even when no one claps, even when it's dark, even when it hurts. Because discipline is the ultimate freedom. And the grind is the only path that leads there. You can't call yourself a grinder if you're only working when it's convenient. You can't say all I know is grind and still pick and choose your effort based on how easy or comfortable the day feels. The grind doesn't care about comfort. The grind doesn't adjust itself to your feelings. The grind is supposed to stretch you, break you, push you to the edge of yourself. And that's where you find out who you really are. Because it's in those uncomfortable moments when your body is aching and your mind is screaming to quit that you get introduced to the part of you that doesn't know how to surrender. That's what separates the pretenders from the committed. The pretenders want results, but fear the pain it takes to earn them. The committed, on the other hand, they crave the struggle. They live for it because they know growth only lives on the other side of resistance. So every time you push through something hard, you build a new version of yourself. One that's stronger, more patient, and more dangerous. But you only get there if you refuse to run from discomfort. That's why people stay stuck. The moment things get heavy, they fold. The moment they hit pressure, they escape. And they call it a rest. But really, it's retreat. You've got to stop protecting yourself from the grind. Because the grind is what's trying to build you. You want greatness, but you don't want the weight that comes with it. You want to shine, but you don't want the heat. You can't have both. Pressure either breaks you or builds you, and that choice is yours every single day. There's something powerful about working when it's hard, because those are the moments that define your identity. Anyone can work when it's easy. Anyone can push when everything's going right, but it takes a different animal to keep pushing when everything is going wrong. That's where legends are made. That's where you earn your respect, not from others, but from yourself. When you finish that extra rep, when you wake up that extra hour early, when you work through the exhaustion and still execute, that's when you tell yourself, I'm built for this. And once you feel that, once you truly know that you can go through hell and still move forward, there's nothing that can stop you anymore. Too many people want results without paying the price. They want the body, the money, the success, the freedom, but they don't want the process that creates it. They want to skip the grind, but the grind is the only path to transformation. You can't cheat the process. You can't fake consistency. The grind exposes you. It exposes your weaknesses, your laziness, your excuses, your lack of belief. But that's the beauty of it. Because if you face that exposure and keep going, it turns those weaknesses into strength. Every time you show up when it's hard, you're rewriting your identity. You're telling your mind, I am not someone who quits. And your mind listens. It starts to trust you. It starts to believe in you. Pain is the price of progress. That's something most people don't understand. They think pain is punishment, but it's not. Pain is information. It's your body and your mind telling you you're growing. You're leveling up. Every great thing in life is born from some kind of pain. The pain of training, the pain of discipline, the pain of isolation, the pain of rejection. It's all shaping you into the person who's ready for the victory that's coming. The people who never succeed are the ones who keep trying to avoid pain. But when you avoid pain, you avoid power. When you escape struggle, you escape strength. You can't rise without resistance. That's why the grind matters. It gives you resistance, and resistance is where you evolve. Let me tell you something. The grind is lonely. The grind is cold. The grind will test your faith. But the grind also reveals your greatness. Because while everyone else is sleeping, while everyone else is distracted, you're out there doing the work they said was too much. You're building a foundation while they're dreaming about the top floor. You're sweating when they're scrolling. You're staying disciplined when they're chasing comfort. And one day when your results start to show, they'll call you lucky. But luck has nothing to do with it. You just outlasted them. You outworked them. You embraced the pain they ran from. That's what the grind teaches you. Endurance. Life's not about how hard you can hit once. It's about how long you can keep hitting when life hits back. It's about staying focused when you're tired. It's about keeping your head down and your feet moving when the finish line still feels far away. The ones who win aren't the ones who sprint. They're the ones who keep walking when everyone else has stopped. That's how you win. Not through bursts of energy, but through daily effort, brick by brick, hour by hour by hour, rep by rep. And don't get it twisted. Grinding doesn't mean burning yourself out. It means showing up with purpose, even when you're drained. It means finding a way, not an excuse. It means working smarter and harder, not just recklessly. It means giving your best every single day, even if your best today looks different than yesterday, Because consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about staying in motion no matter how heavy the weight gets. The real power of the grind is what it does to your mind. When you keep working through pain, you develop mental armor. You stop being fragile. You stop breaking every time something doesn't go your way. You start to become unstoppable because you've seen yourself survive the worst and still move forward. You start trusting the grind because you've lived it. You know that no matter what, you can handle it. That's real confidence, not the fake kind that comes from words, but the one that comes from war. You've got to understand, when you say, oh, I know it's grind, you're not just talking about working hard. You're talking about working hard. You're talking about living with purpose. You're talking about showing up when nobody cares. You're talking about putting in effort when no one's watching. You're talking about taking full control of your destiny. The grind is not just what you do, it's who you are. It's the rhythm of your life. It's the heartbeat that keeps you moving when everything else feels still. Every hour you put in is a seed. Every sacrifice is an investment. Every painful moment is preparing you for something greater. But you've got to be patient enough to stay with it. You've got to trust that all those long nights, all those lonely days, all those invisible hours are building something massive behind the scenes. The grind is slow, but it's steady. It's not loud, but it's powerful. It's not pretty, but it's necessary. And when you finally arrive at your destination, when you finally stand on top of that mountain, you'll look back and realize it wasn't the victory that changed you. It was the grind that made you who you are. So stop running from hard. Stop trying to make everything easy. Embrace the grind. Learn to love it, because that's where life begins. Not in the comfort zone, but in the trenches. You're not supposed to feel good all the time. You're supposed to get stronger. And the only way to get stronger is through struggle. So when the pain hits, when the fatigue kicks in, when the world goes silent and you're all alone, don't retreat. Smile. Because that's the moment you're growing. That's the moment you're proving to yourself that no matter what happens, you're still moving forward. All I know is grind. Means that you don't need a perfect day. You just need discipline. It means that when life says slow down, you say, and not today. It means that no matter what it costs, no matter how long it takes, you'll keep pushing until you build the life you said you wanted. Because you weren't made to be average. You weren't made to quit halfway. You were made to fight, to rise. And the grind, the daily, relentless, uncomfortable grind, is what turns that potential into reality. You've got to make peace with one truth. The grind never ends. So there is no finish line, no magical moment when you can finally relax, clap your hands, and say, I made it. Because the moment you stop grinding, the world starts moving without you. The moment you take your foot off the gas, somebody hungrier, somebody more focused, somebody who wants it just a little bit more starts gaining on you. The grind isn't punishment. It's the price of greatness. It's the rhythm of champions. It's the heartbeat of people who refuse to live ordinary lives. You have to learn to love it. You have to make it your identity. All you know, all you breathe, all you live for is the grind. Every single day you wake up with two choices, stay the same or evolve, and the grind is that evolution. It's not about working until you're tired. It's about working until you've changed, until your old self can't even recognize the new version of you. The grind is transformation disguised as repetition. Every rep in the gym, every late night of studying, every failure you recover from. It all looks the same from the outside. But on the inside, you're becoming something different, something sharper, something more dangerous. That's what the grind does. It turns ordinary men and women into forces of nature. It's the bridge between potential and purpose, between dreams and domination. You see, people who run from the grind are running from growth. They want the outcome, but not the process. They crave the reward, but not the discipline. But you can't be like them. You have to become obsessed with doing the hard things. When everyone else is sleeping, you're working. When everyone else is complaining, you're executing. When the crowd gives up, you're still moving. Because you know something they don't. Success doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the consistent. It belongs to the one who refuses to quit. The grind separates the pretenders from the producers. It separates those who talk from those who act. And the reason you have to keep grinding is because life doesn't care about what you've already done. It only respects what you do next. You can't live off yesterday's effort. You can't brag about what you accomplished last year. That's gone. That's over. Every single morning you start again. That's zero. That's the rule. That's what keeps the hungry alive and the lazy forgotten. You have to prove yourself all over again every day. That's the grind. It's not a moment of glory. It's a lifestyle of discipline. It's waking up when you don't want to. It's pushing through when your body says stop. It's doing it again when your mind says you've already done enough. You want to win? You've got to grind like your life depends on it, because it does. The grind isn't just about success. It's about survival. It's about building something inside you that can't be broken no matter what comes your way. The grind teaches you to endure. It makes you resilient. It builds a mind that doesn't flinch when things get hard. Because if you stay in the grind long enough, you start to understand that pain is part of the process. Failure is part of the formula. Every setback is just another rep in your development. The grind doesn't destroy you, it shapes you. Most people give up because they think they're supposed to see results instantly. They plant a seed and want a tree tomorrow. But the grind doesn't work like that. It's slow, it's quiet, it's brutal. It tests you in the dark long before it rewards you in the light. The grind isn't pretty, and that's why it's powerful. You're not supposed to enjoy every moment of it. You're supposed to respect it. You're supposed to let it break the weak parts of you so only the strong remains. And when that strength finally shows up, when your moment comes, you'll realize it wasn't luck that got you there. It was every lonely night, every silent hour, every single second of grind no one saw. You've got to understand this. People will doubt you. They'll laugh at your effort. They'll question your obsession. Let them. Because when they're relaxing, you're evolving. When they're comfortable, you're uncomfortable on purpose. That's what separates you. You're not chasing approval. You're chasing mastery. You're not chasing followers. You're chasing greatness. And greatness demands that you grind when nobody's watching. It demands that you believe in the process when nothing is working. It demands that you sacrifice the easy path to walk the lonely one. Because that lonely road, the one paved with sweat and sacrifice, is the only road that leads to real power. The grind is not just about building muscle or money. It's about building character. It's about proving to yourself that you can endure, that you can handle the pressure, that you can stay disciplined even when your emotions are all over the place. You can't fake that kind of strength. You earn it. One day at a time, one grind at a time. And when the world sees the results, they'll call it talent. But you'll know the truth. It was never talent. It was the grind. It was you showing up every day, no matter how you felt. It was you refusing to take shortcuts. It was you being consistent when consistency wasn't convenient. That's why you can't stop now. You've come too far to give up on yourself. You fought through too much to turn soft now. The grind made you who you are, and it's the only thing that's going to take you further. So when you're tired, grind anyway. When you're broken, grind anyway. When nobody believes in you, grind anyway. Because the grind isn't about who's watching. It's about who you're becoming. And when that final moment comes, when the lights hit and success finally meets you face to face, you'll be able to look back and say, oh, I know it's grind. Because that's what separates legends from everyone else. The grind never lies. It exposes the lazy, humbles the proud, and crowns the relentless. You don't need motivation. You need a mindset that refuses to stop. You need a hunger that outlasts failure. You need a spirit that doesn't know how to quit. And when you have that, when the grind becomes your nature, not your task, you become unstoppable. That's the truth of this life. Nobody hands you greatness. You earn it through sweat, pain, and endless work. So stop waiting for an opportunity to come to you. Go grind until the world has no choice but to notice. Because the ones who never stop, the ones who wake up and say, all I know is grind, those are the ones who never lose. When it's all said and done, when the noise fades and the crowd is gone, the only thing left standing will be the work you put in. That's what defines you. Not the opinions, not the applause, not the moments of luck, but the grind, the effort, the sacrifice that no one saw. The world doesn't owe you anything, and it never will. You either rise or you rust. You either grind or you get ground down. And that's the truth most people don't want to face. Everyone wants to shine, but no one wants to sweat. Everyone wants results, but few want the process. But if you've made it this far, if something inside you is still burning after all the failures, the rejections and the pain, then you got what it takes. You got the heart for it. So listen to me. Don't slow down now. Don't get comfortable just because you've made some progress. This is where most people quit right before the breakthrough. They get tired, they lose faith, and they walk away one step before the finish line. Don't you dare be one of them. You've come too far. You've bled too much. You've endured too long away. You owe it to yourself to finish what you started. You owe it to the person you used to be, the one who dreamed when nobody believed, the one who showed up when nobody cared, to keep going, because that version of you didn't fight this hard just for you to quit when things got uncomfortable. There's a reason the grind never stops. It's not because you're obsessed with pain. It's because you're obsessed with growth. You understand that every rep, every late night, every early morning is building something inside you that can't be broken. You're becoming unshakable, unmovable, unstoppable. And that's what this life demands, because life isn't fair. It's not supposed to be. It's a test of will, a test of hunger, a test of how bad you really want it. And if you want it bad enough, if you're willing to suffer for it, sacrifice for it, and fight for it every single day, then nothing can stop you. Not people, not pain, not fear, not fear. So when tomorrow comes and that alarm goes off and your body says, stay in bed, you tell yourself one thing: all I know is grind. When the world doubts you, when your back's against the wall, when you feel like giving up, you remind yourself, all I know is grind. Because when you live like that, when you breathe that, when you move with that kind of hunger, everything changes. Opportunities start finding you. Strength starts building in you. And suddenly you realize you're not chasing dreams anymore. You're becoming them. You are the living proof that relentless work beats everything. So go all in every day, every second, because in the end, the world doesn't remember the ones who talked about it. They remember the ones who never stopped working for it.